welcome to the Mega Podcast, where we delve into the inspiring stories of entrepreneurs, motivational coaches, and business leaders. Join us as we hear about their journey to success and the challenges they faced along the way. We'll uncover their secrets to perseverance and determination and gain valuable insights into what it takes to reach your goals. The journey may not be beautiful, but it is always purposeful. So sit back, relax, and be ready to be inspired by those who have dared to dream big and make it a reality. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mega Podcast. I'm your host, Mega, and today we have an amazing guest. This person has survived a traumatic brain injury. We're going to get into that story, how he's overcome. He's here with us today because he not only once, folks, but twice. Like, wow. But he's here today. He is still motivated. He is inspiring others. He's an up and coming speaker. The one, the only, the very amazing Dan MacQueen. Hey, how you doing?
I'm very good, man. I got to get you as my hype guy, Al. That's a pretty good intro, bud.
Well, listen, you're kicking life right in the butt, and I love it. You're definitely inspiring me. I know people that have gone through traumatic life injuries, or circumstances rather, and I've seen their journeys, and I've seen how the journey has affected their emotions and their feelings. But it's wonderful to see someone like you that, you definitely didn't let it keep you down. Seems like you picked up yourself and immediately went to and grabbed life by you know what and started kicking butt, and that's amazing and very inspiring. So thank you for doing that and showing us the way, because again, look at what you've gone through. So people, you have no excuse. All right, so let's get into Dan's story for real, because it's very inspiring. So Dan, just a bit about stuff to start with. Where are you originally from?
So I'm from Vancouver, Canada, which is where I'm calling you from today. But this story took place in London, England. Jolly old.
Really? All right. So what were you doing out there in London, and what year was this?
This was 2014. I was living in London, working in tech. I moved there after a master's in Sweden, so I was enjoying life in London. Big lights, big nights out, cafes, restaurants. It was all a go.
Okay, living the life.
Healthy, active guy, no medical issues, and then all of a sudden.
What do you mean all of a sudden, though? What happened in those moments? I mean, where were you? What was going on? How did you feel, if you remember?
Yeah, so I was getting these headaches, and they were getting pretty bad, and to the point where like my vision would go black for a few minutes. Like not sort of a casual thing. I knew something was really wrong here. My headache was getting really bad. I was taking painkillers like candy for them as my head was pounding. I went to A&E, which is accident emergency, twice.
Okay.
They thought it was vertigo and they sent me home, but they told me if the headaches were to continue, I should get my eyes checked in an optometrist on the way out of the second A&E visit. So the headaches persisted. I decided, you know what, I'm getting this checked at an optometrist. I was in the middle of the exam when he stopped the exam midway through.
Just stopped.
He stopped it, gave me a sealed envelope, which is not a casual move, right? He told me to go directly to Moorfields Hospital, which I did, sort of. No, I didn't really, but
You didn't.
I stopped at home, picked up a Jack Reacher book by Lee Childs. I figured I'm in for a wait. Grabbed a bite to eat because I'm back at the house now, and then I grabbed a phone charger. I went to Moorfields Hospital. They ran the same tests, and escalated me to Charing Cross. It turns out I had a dangerous buildup of pressure in my brain, caused from a non-cancerous cyst in my head. Turns out it required emergency brain surgery. Whoa. Turns out my world was about to change entirely. Wow. Long story short, I ended up having emergency brain surgery. When I was on the operating table, the cyst burst when they operated and had a brain hemorrhage. A mom lands and finds I'm in critical condition, so I was in a coma for 4 weeks.
My gosh.
I was in and out of consciousness for months after that. It was really dicey, touch and go. When all was said and done, I was learning how to walk, talk, and smile again. So I woke up in that hospital bed for the first time with my dad, mom, and brother around the bed. And I'm trying to speak to them, but I can't because my voice was gone. I had a tracheotomy removed, and it took me a while to get my voice back. And I'm trying to talk to them, but I can't. And I point at my brother, I go, you. Give me a pen and paper. So I write down, get me out of here. And I show it to Cam, and he's, what do you want me to do, man? Like, you are tied up here, tubes coming out of you, your one eye is wonky as hell. And little did I know I'd be in the hospital for months after this, but I was just
My
freaking out that,
goodness.
all got pear-shaped on me.
Were you alone when this happened?
I was alone in London, yeah, but my family came out when I was in a coma.
Oh my gosh. And do you remember anything while you were in the coma? Any type of weird experience or anything?
Weird dreams. I had this one dream that
Yeah.
I was on a submarine and there was a massive aquarium on the submarine, and I couldn't understand why you'd have an aquarium on a submarine because we're underwater in the first place, bud. But I don't know. I looked into that a little bit on like a dream website. I don't know if you can really read into that too much, but it's fleeting
Wow.
memories of that. But like in and out of consciousness for months, right? So it's quite dicey.
Oh my God. So what was it once you wake up, from the coma, you said you were in and out. I mean, when you started feeling finally much more stable, what was that journey like for you?
Oh, it's tough, man, because I'm like my leg had frozen at an angle in the coma, so I couldn't use my leg. I was in a wheelchair.
In an angle, what do you mean? The way you slept or something?
Yeah, like it was just bent and it had frozen at an angle, so the muscle had atrophied.
Wow.
I'm not a doctor with this. I'm not trying to be, but like it didn't work. In order to get it to work again, I had to wear a splint, and the splint was horrifically painful to wear.
My
I'd bite my
goodness.
arm trying to distract myself from the pain. Um, and to get in the wheelchair took 45 minutes, then 40, then 40, then 35, then 30, then 35, then 30.
Okay.
It was arduous. It was a difficult battle. It was a struggle every day to get in the wheelchair, and it was frustrating as all hell because I used to be quite a sporty guy. I used to play like soccer, hockey, skiing,
Oh
volleyball,
man.
softball. Like I played all the sports, but I couldn't do any of this. I was in a wheelchair. And eventually I got myself back to walking after wearing the splint.
But
That was an arduous thing.
may
Even
I
though
ask, what was the emotional moments like in those moments when something that was so basic now became one of the most, a difficult task?
yeah, it's a good question there, Al. Like it's I realized early on that it's not what it is, but how you react to it. There's a great quote from Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, says it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And I really abided by this, that it's not what it is, because the brain injury didn't kill you. It didn't kill you. So you're saying there's a chance. But the way there's a chance is if you get to work, and I call work chop wood, carry water. So I just get in the mindset of like, you know what? I can do this, I can do that. I can't do this, but that's fine because I can still do this now. Like I've got double vision still out, which is like pretty distracting. And I had surgery on the eyes to correct double vision. And I noticed that my eye would drag a little bit and I'd be really upset, but I could walk at the stage. So I was pretty stoked because I could walk in. So I like, well, at least I can do this. And that's not a very healthy way to address setbacks or
Yeah,
hindrances.
absolutely not.
It kind of like
If you say at least I could, nah, that's not good enough. There should be no
I
at
mean,
least.
what you want to avoid here is the pity spiral, Alan. That's what I'm trying to avoid is being woes me and down in my luck and just everything happens to me is not fair. Because that's not good for anyone. Feeling sorry for yourself is the worst habit you could possibly have, and that's a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I
Wow.
really believe that you can't be woes me about this, but you got to kind of grab life by the horns and kind of go after this. And it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters.
So, what was the recovery process like then? When you woke up, did you even know what had happened to you?
Well, it had been described to me, and I was told what happened, and I fought tooth and nail to get back to walking again, into the wheelchair in 30 minutes, then 25, then 20. I would be in the water in the pool in the hospital working on like stretching out the leg. And it took me forever to get back into the wheelchair and to walking again. And then I started doing cognitive stuff to return to work. So I got back to work after 10 months of arduous
Wow.
rehabilitation. I was back to work for 2 months. About a year later, I had a second setback. So I was found unconscious in my flat by my mom. The shunt
What?
in my head had blocked, leading to hydrocephalus, or water in the brain. I required an emergency brain surgery again. So I woke up in that hospital bed for the second time, hearing the beeping noise of the heart rate monitor,
Oh
hearing the
my
ventilators going
gosh.
off, and all my progress was washed away, right? And I'm like, well, what happened? What happened? Well, we had a block in the shunt, but we got the block here. And I go, all my progress is washed away. But we got the block, though. It's okay.
Well, was it related from the first incident still, or was
Yes,
it
they
something?
put a shunt in my head that drains the fluid from my brain, and that
Okay.
had blocked, and that caused the issue.
My goodness.
So, that describe my recovery as like a W, right? So the first setback is down here. I kind of climbed back up halfway up to the top, and then the second setback isn't where the first one was, but much lower. Because
Whoa.
all my progress is washed away here, and I
Yeah.
worked so hard to get back to work, and then that's taken away. And I call this the depths of the human experience. You thought you had a chance there, bud. Ha ha ha. Pretty close to getting back to work, weren't you? Ha ha ha. And like, man, I had to fight for my everything to get
Right.
back this because
The humor behind life sometimes, huh?
the human behind life, bud, and like I laugh about it now, but let me tell you, I was the lowest I've ever been in my life at that stage.
I can't
I was never
imagine.
depressed, but I was very close to just, why do I keep fighting? Like I just can put kicked in the gut, man. This is pretty tough. And so it
So
took a lot of my mental fortitude to get back from this, not back, but it helped. And that,
insane.
that second setback took maybe about a week. The first brain hemorrhage took about a month. The second
Okay.
setback took about a week. And I lost my job this past summer, and that took about an afternoon to get over it. No afternoon
Hmm.
to make my mind up that I'm going to become a speaker. It
Yeah.
probably took about a week to get over it, to be honest, but it took about an afternoon to make the choice of being a speaker. And I went to the store to pick up a computer that day. Afternoon, had a boozy lunch, a few margaritas. The faster way you can reduce your acceptance time, the better you can be in life. The first
Oh,
setback took a month.
agreed.
The second setback took a week. Third setback took an afternoon. It took longer to kind of come to terms with what happened to me, but the faster you get to acceptance, the faster you can improve your lot. Wishing something didn't happen is not an adequate way to resolve it.
Yeah, definitely. That you can't wish on a rainbow.
Yeah, you can't hope it's gonna work. It's like I hope, but like I hope through my hard work that something will happen that's good. The process is what I call this: chop wood, carry water.
Yeah. See, before we get into that journey now that you're stepping into, to share and what's gone, and be that speaker. You send me a video. Let me go ahead and share that with the folks right now. So, folks, check this out. It's pretty cool.
So I want to start off tonight by bringing forward a big idea. And that is, it's not what happens to you that matters, but rather what you think about it. I'll say it again. It's not what happens to you that matters, but what you think about it that does. I'll never forget that hospital room after being told that tomorrow I'd undergo emergency brain surgery to remove a cyst in my brain. And I should let those people close to me know. I was in critical condition. My parents were told I may not make it. Pretty devastating. I was pretty low after this, as all my progress was washed away. But it wasn't, was it? I kind of rationalized through this process like, look, you've built back through this setback already. You know how to do it. So let's go. Without looking at me and just saying, I don't think you can talk again. I got paired up with a Kiwi nurse, and she was a mean old gal, and she got me. She took me down to the park, and she would sit me in front of these people and be like, "Hey, Dan, they don't think you can talk." I mustered up some courage, and I said a few choice words towards them. So now I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jordan, but I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jordan.
Hey.
Mood follows action. I'm a big believer in this. One day, I'm not sure what happened, but I just switched my perspective. And I switched it to, this is the best place to learn how to walk in the world. Because if I can walk here, I can walk anywhere. We picked a day, March 31st. I was stoked, but I was also pretty worried. Like, what if this goes pear-shaped on me? And then we did this.
Oh, wow.
Probably the most controversial take on this presentation is going to be top right, Brussels sprouts. I hate him. I hate him. I'm never going to have him again in my life.
Send
And I'm
hate mail
trying
too.
to live my life like the hero of my own story. What would the hero do? He finds out he's got a brain injury. He's flat on his back. He's got nothing going on. What does the hero do to rectify that? Well, he eats clean, he gets up early, he meditates, he goes to the gym, he's like honest and truthful and like a good stand-up guy. Like I'm trying to live my life like I'm the hero of my own movie. I can't tell you it's all rainbows and butterflies because that's just not true. None of this is easy. It's not easy to do any of this stuff. To walk again, to talk again, to smile again, to see again. It's not easy, but it's simple. What I mean by this is like if you know what you're going for, if you call your shot, just work towards that every day.
There were takeaways for everyone. I learned about how to persevere and be determined as an individual, but I also learned a lot about teamwork. And throughout the whole thing, I was inspired. There were moments where my breath was taken away, and there were moments that really made me reflect about my journey and the path that I'm on. So
is to change my mindset from woe is me to what can I learn from this and go from that Michael Jordan mentality of finding the game within the game.
It was actually really inspiring to hear his story start to finish, and really had me second guessing, kind of looking at some of the limits I have on myself. So
very powerful speaking, just a remarkable person. And I'm going to apply some of the hacks that he brought up.
Tell the people in the hospital he wants to ski again, and then to see him cutting those turns on the hill gave me goosebumps for sure. So overall, pretty fantastic stuff, and I look forward to seeing Dan excel in his new career, speaking and sharing his story. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. I think we all want to see that. Woo! What a video, Dan. What a great video. So talk about this journey, and deciding to speak and share your story publicly. How do you feel, when wonderful video. How did you feel when you were there speaking publicly?
It's like I'm not a natural, I wouldn't say I'm a natural speaker, Al. Like it takes a lot of, doing a lot of these podcasts and speaking in public now, I'm pretty comfortable with it, but it's been something that I really worked hard at to get myself tuned in and tightened up quite a lot. It's still get nervous. Like I'm still nervous speaking in front of people live. It's been
we're live right now, but it's so different.
Right now,
isn't it different, Dan? We're live now, but there's no audience.
See,
but yet when we're in front of an audience, right?
Yeah,
it scared me.
I'll be honest, what gets me, but this is okay. I'm okay with this, man. But it's the audience is a bit nerve wracking. But
I agree. I did it once. I hosted a panel, and that first time, my gosh, my hands were shaking. Everybody was asking me, "What's wrong with you? You do this all the time." I said, "Not in front of people." But it's fun. But kudos to you, because for what you've gone to do what you're doing. So again, so I'm sorry. I just wanted to share that. But we'll talk about sharing that journey in front of people physically as opposed to on the web.
Yeah, it's rewarding to see them react to like the stuff I've been through, and I share a lot about my background and what I've been through because I want you to validate what I'm telling you in terms of hacks. I talk a lot about stuff you can do to improve your life and your mindset and stuff like that. And why would you listen to me? Well, I'm someone who's been through A, B, and C. And if you don't believe in what I've been through, then you're not going to believe in what I'm telling you to do or try to do. I'm never going to tell you what you should do. I'll tell you what worked for me, and you can try that if it works. But that's why I share the stories, to get you to bind me as a presenter, which is, it's a bit difficult to watch it and like hear you always talk about that. And this is, they're kind of seeing your story and they're saying these things about your story. And it's a bit cringeworthy to watch, to be honest, but I have to do it for you to bind me as a presenter. Otherwise, who the hell are you telling me any of this stuff, man? So it's difficult in that perspective.
Wow. So where are we going? What other speaking engagements have you planned right now?
Yeah, good question, Al. So well, the game plan is to do a TED Talk.
Ooh, the TED Talk. Yeah, kiddo.
That's the goal this year, early next year if I can. But I'm going for that, man. I've got a TED Talk ready to go now. With some tweaks, it'll be good. It's got that skiing video in there. It's got some other good stuff. It's highs and lows, an emotional roller coaster. But the game plan is to be a full-time speaker. I've got, I spoke last week at a high school, last month at a football club in West Van. I've got some deals in the pipe.
Nice.
For online speaking gigs as well as in-person gigs in Vancouver. But I want to do this because I want to share these lessons with you and the people that want to listen to this, because I paid a heavy price for this stuff. Like, I have the scars to prove it, and I can tell you what really matters when you're flat out and you're counting for your next one, right? Don't go right here. It's a honeypot. Go around the corner. It's much better.
So
I can
is
tell
this?
you, I've been there.
Are we only going to go the speaking route? Or are we turning into this into a podcast? Are we going with with dreams of a talk show, the Dan McQueen show? Come on.
Hard pass in the talk show, brother. But I've got a podcast right now called Play Loose, Look Tight,
Play
documenting the
loose.
process of life
Hey,
after. It's on
beautiful.
pause right now because I get the speaking stuff off the ground. But I've got the podcast there now, which is there's the
Yeah.
website there that's brand new. That's up today, as of today. But the podcast is one that I really want to get back into doing because that's a big passion project of mine. And I want to do that because I want to share what I've learned, man, because you can benefit from this and
Thank
like
you.
really break it down and listen to what I'm saying. Like, the content, I think, is second to none. The editing quality is rubbish. I'll be the first to admit that, but the quality of the content itself is spectacular, I think.
But again, I mean, sometimes people don't really care about the editing. It's so long as they connect with the story, and I think that's the most important part. They connect with the person. And man, I'm digging what you're saying. I'm with you. So talk about this website. But I love right here. I can promise you, I'm different than any speaker you've seen in the past. Different, not better. I love that. Talk about that. What are we talking about here when you
Yeah,
say that?
well, I came with my buddy RJ on the weekend or last week. We're talking about like branding stuff and creating like a catchphrase that kind of encompasses my brand and my vibe. And I can honestly say that's my value prop, is like, look, I'm going to be different than anyone you've had in the past. I approach recovery and rehab in such a unique way that it's going to be different. And that's to say it's not better, but different. Different, not better. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone you've seen in the past. I'm trying to say I'm different. And that I can say I'm honestly truthful.
And look at this site. Well done. Speaking topics. Moonshot goal setting, resilient mindset, mental health. How can you overcome your obstacles by reframing them? Something obviously you know very well. The resilient mindset, where you say it was not easy, but was simple. When you say that, though, how simple is it? when you when you say that, because obviously things appear easy only after the experience. Like, oh, that's how.
Well, it's like you're in a wheelchair, right? And like you're learning how to walk, and in order to walk, you got to wear the splint. It's not easy to wear the splint, but it's simple to wear the splint.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I can choose to wear the splint, yes or no. If you say no, then I guess you're not walking anytime soon. But if you say yes, then I'm walking. The splint was horrific, man. That thing was agony,
Wow.
agony. But like I wore it to get back to walking again, and it shows me how strong I can be to walk because I had to go through that splint. Now, it wasn't easy to do that, but it was simple to make the choice that I'm a walker. What I'm saying is, like, make the choice. It's simple to make that choice. It's not easy to do the work afterwards, but it's simple to choose that you're going to be a walker. That makes sense.
No, understood. I mean, see you over here all over to the website. Uh, so you have a YouTube as well. So what's popping off from the YouTube?
I've just got the demo reel up there now. I've got some other stuff
I'm gonna
coming
start
up.
off tonight by
Okay.
That's just the demo reel that you saw earlier.
All right, so
I've got
folks, we gotta get more subscribers. You got 5 subs now, and we gotta get you on more. So folks, you better start subbing on this YouTube. And he already got it. So it's just like all the other socials that I've been showing, like the LinkedIn, the Twitter, and the Instagram at MacQueen Dan. So I love it. I love the fact that you have like secured this name, Dan. Great
yeah, it's
job.
kind of something I figured I should, be like consistent across the board and make that happen.
Yes,
I used to work
so
in social
important.
media for Hootsuite, right? So I know a thing or two about like best practices about this stuff, and I haven't even updated my profiles with the new website in the profile there. So I do that for LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm going to do a post out on LinkedIn tomorrow to promote the video and the demo reel, and hopefully
Okay.
drive some traffic and some leads there. I was doing some testing today with a friend of mine who helped me get the website off the ground. I'm very grateful for him. But it's starting to turn the corner, man. It's very much like watch this space. I'm coming at
I
you, bro.
listen. I really can't wait to see what you're doing here because it is inspiring for you again to go through this, choosing to share the story, inspiring others. I think you got the branding on point. That website is dope, bro. I mean, you're amazing. So you had mentioned earlier something about hacks, right? Hacks. So
Yeah.
I see sign on where we got hooked up. Big shout out to Alex from Pod Match for doing hookup over here, right? So a hack of a morning routine is important to you. Can you please outline what it is that you do?
Yeah, so morning routines. My mornings are my time, and something I really realized that if I set my morning up for success, my day will be successful. I followed the book Tim Ferriss, Tools of Titans. Found out that a lot of high performers do a couple of things. They make their bed in the morning, they meditate in the morning, and they go for exercise. So I have a very religious routine. I wake up early, I make my bed. First thing to do is make my bed. Simple task, big results. You make your bed, your life's in order. Your room looks tidy. The first task you accomplish in the day, the last thing you do in the day is get into bed. Hey, I accomplished that in the morning.
Mm.
Make my bed. Then I go for a workout, either a walk, gym, or swim. Today I shoveled my snow in my front patio because it's snowing.
Isn't that fun?
But that's exercise. I got a good strain on that, right? So that's pretty good. Did that, and then I came back for a shower. And the shower cold last 2 minutes. Well, to be fair, today was probably about a minute and a half. But ice cold, minute and a half. Get out of the shower, and I meditate for 25 minutes.
How do you
Now, I
do the
didn't start with
meditation?
25 minutes. What's that?
How do you do with the meditation? I tried it once and it scared the hell out of me because I swear, Dan, I swear to you, I felt my soul coming out my body, and it put me in a crazy emotional state that I like broke out of it, and nope, I can't do this.
I've never had that happen before, but that sounds a bit unsettling.
Yeah, it totally. I really felt myself coming out of myself. It was insane, emotional feeling. I don't like this. This felt weird.
I think what I recommend is start small. So a small winnable target of 2 minutes. Next week do 4 minutes. Week after do 6 minutes and 8 minutes. Ramp up to where you're at now. I do 25 in the morning. I didn't get here by doing 25 off the hop. I started with 2, then 4, then 6 and 8, and ramping up gradually. Small achievable wins you want to do.
Do you find there's benefits from the meditation?
Oh, tremendous. Like I got to align my mind, think of stuff that, I should be doing today or that I should have done last week or something like that. It's like a clear way to clear up the cobwebs in your mind.
Okay.
I love these things. And I also swim quite a lot, which is a nice way to kind of blast out the angst and just get into your body. There's a chance for your mind to kind of just have some bandwidth to spin and like catch up with all those loose ends. I've got a lap counter, which does just what it says in the tin, but it allows me the free space with no influence, outside influence like traffic, music, podcasts, noises, except, a few people in the swim lane occasionally. But swimming's huge for me, and that's a great way for me to join the dots and to kind of connect things for me. So I really enjoy swimming as well.
See, that's what it is. That's what it is. All right. So last question here, because you were also talking about gamification. So can you speak how gamification has been used throughout this process and allows you to be better than yesterday?
Yeah, for sure. So I've got a lot of, I'll share one hack with you if you don't mind, Al.
Go ahead.
It's called an icebreaker. And an icebreaker, not a social icebreaker. This is like an icebreaker like in the Arctic. Mm-hmm. So London's quite a busy city. Think the circuses are quite that, just a bloody circus. The Oxford Circus, Piccadilly Circus, madness. What you want to do is find an icebreaker, someone walk in your direction where you can walk in their wake behind them. Let them break the ice for you. So like find someone with the stroller and you walk in behind them because they're breaking the ice. They're dealing with head-on traffic. And you just right in behind them, you get in the wake. So you're not dealing with that oncoming traffic. If you can reduce the strain you face and the jostling you're facing in a day-to-day, so you can reduce the exertion your body deals with. Fatigue is a big thing for brain injured guys or brain injured people. And by doing icebreakers, you can reduce the strain that you face. So that's one way to gamify life. I've also got one called betting on the ponies. This is when you go to the track, and the tube is how you get around in London, right? It's like the subway. Mm-hmm. Now, betting on the ponies, you get in the tube and you start like eyeballing people and seeing, where are they going to get off based on how they're dressed. So, suit and tie, they're probably getting out in the financial districts, somewhere central maybe. So they might be getting out near Liverpool Street. Maybe that's what place. So you kind of position yourself to get their seat when they get off at that station. And I call that betting on the ponies. But I'm having fun with this. I'm challenging myself to make a game of life because life's not always, Life's life can be difficult, and if you don't find time to enjoy it, you're gonna miss it. This is one way to also turn down the suck too, right, Al? So you're having a good time with this. Then on the ponies, icebreakers. I got one of the last one I'll share with you is called Pop the Clutch. Now, pop the clutch. I know this means starting a standard car down a hill, throwing in gear, you start it that way. That's not what I mean with this. By popping the clutch, I mean pass people in life or pass people in a space that requires overtaking.
Yes.
Sometimes people slow you down in life. You got to pass them. You got to pop the clutch. I had a friend of mine who loved Fast and the Furious. I'll save her name because she'll be really embarrassed if I notify this. But I say, ask any real racer. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile. Winning's winning.
Yeah.
And that's what I use to signify popping the clutch. So, but you're having fun with this stuff, right? It's all gamifying stuff. If you're not having fun of this, you're doing it wrong. One last thing here, Al. The name of my podcast is called Play Loose, Look Tight.
Play loose.
Play loose is a very intentional word there. You want to play. Play is the first word that I use because life is about playing. Life is about having fun. It's not about arduous struggle and strife. Have moments where you can have some levity and enjoy yourself when you're doing something difficult because life's not always about the struggle. It's about enjoying the stuff and the finer things in life or just finding that levity there. That was a rant and a half for you there, Al.
No, that's the rant. That's just knowledge. I love it. It's truth. You speak. You're dropping some gems on us, Daniel. Love it. So this is why I foresee nothing but success for you as a speaker. So if people wanted to book you, to speak at an event, or for an office event, or a big show somewhere about podcasting or life, where can they contact you?
Yeah, it's a great question, Al. Thank you. The best spots on the website, MacQueenDan.com, MacQueen Dan.com.
Okay.
And that's ready to rock and roll as of today. So that's fresh off the press. I'm booking into the next month or so. I've got a few gigs on the calendar, but it's pretty open right now.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And what's the turnaround time on a reply? We don't want to keep them waiting on the knowledge of Mr. Dan MacQueen now. Come on.
We'll see what we can do.
Hey, there we go. You'll take care of it, folks. Don't you worry. So if you want somebody that's going to inspire the hell out of your team, that has overcome, great challenges in life, and look at him here today, kicking butt, doing podcasts, doing speaking engagements, and so much more. The amazing Dan MacQueen. Thank you again for your time, my brother. All the links are below, folks. Please make sure to click away, share, show the love, support entrepreneurs and speakers like Dan. Thank you for tuning into the Al Mega Podcast. I appreciate you. Show the love. Give us a review on Apple or your favorite other podcast platform. And with that, hasta la próxima, mi gente. Much love. Bye-bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Al Mega Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed listening to the insights and stories from our guests. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. Don't give up on your dreams and keep pushing forward. Until next time, thank you for tuning in and stay motivated.